I put a few up. I did it in a different format and my TikTok got deleted. My first TikTok account got completely deleted and then I was like, it's a sign. I shouldn't be doing this. No, I love that my videos do that. It gives that comfort to those people, which, I didn't know obviously till they started telling me. I don't have a good relationship with my mom, but you make me want to be the mom that I can to my future children.
I'm here today with Sulhee Jessica Wu, mother, Bento Box Queen, with over 7 million people having seen the little bento box lunches she prepares for her family. You might have seen them here as well. We're very lucky to have her here today on the Karat podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So the whole premise of what we're going to do, have you ever heard of 36 Questions to Fall in Love or the game We're Not Really Strangers?
Yeah, I've heard of them. I've never played them.
You've never played them? Mm-mm. So the whole thinking, there's a study, the New York Times wrote about it, where they took randomly selected pairs of people. And they were trying to study, how do people form friendships? How do people build relationships? And they discovered a lot of it has to do with two principles, vulnerability and reciprocity. Where vulnerability is all about, let me share something about me. It's a little scary. I'm like, okay, I hope you're going to receive it well. I hope you don't just slap it down. And then the other person's like, you know what? I appreciate that. And let me share something back. At the end of going through questions of this nature, the study found that many of these pairs of people became friends, and one pair actually even ended up dating with each other.
Ooh.
I know, fancy.
Like a dating game.
Yeah.
Trying to win me over.
I'm trying my best. I mean, you're the Bento Box Queen, right? I'm just here to try and entertain and to help the audience get to know you a little bit better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
So
I'm excited.
there's 3 levels of questions.
Okay.
And the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with eye contact.
Okay.
Where we're going to look into each other's eyes, and the first person to look away or blink has to pull the first card. And we will start with level 1 before going to level 2 and level 3.
Okay. So staring contest?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. She's smiling, trying to throw me off. So many funny faces. Ah, you blinked first.
I did. Okay.
For what
It's my contacts.
I have very watery eyes. So
Yeah.
I was about to as well.
Yeah. No, my contacts were dry.
But I saw you puffing out your cheeks. I was like, oh my gosh.
I gotta do. Okay.
All right, you're gonna pick any card, level 1. If it's a wild card, we'll probably throw it back. I just realized you have a ring on your finger. Is that a dollar bill?
Yeah.
Wait, that's so cute. And you have little smiley faces.
Yeah, and food. So avocados.
Oh my gosh, did you do that yourself?
No, I got these in New York actually. Got that one, and then I got olive here.
Aw. Wait, that's so cute.
Yeah, I like traveling and getting tattoos.
How many tattoos do you have?
I don't know how to answer that question because I have like 3 things here, but I got them done at once.
All right. Well, how many times have you gone to a tattoo parlor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What?
6.
Okay, wait. I think that's super cool because if I were to first just meet you, knowing literally nothing about you other than your content, I'd be like, oh, she's like a mom, or she like packs lunches, and you're like, boom, tattoos, baby.
I know. I like to surprise people. But yeah, most people think that all the time. They're like, oh yeah, she's so wholesome. But
Well, do you consider yourself wholesome?
to a point, I mean, I'm more like, I'm more real, so I cuss, and like, I don't know.
Well, now I'm curious. Even before we get to the first question, let me ask you. So, how did you get started making content in the first place, and what were you doing before?
So that's a loaded question because I started content creation pretty much in like 2014 because my sister, the same one, she like begged me. She's like, "You're so talented. Do YouTube. You have to do it. You're." And I've done makeup and art and creative stuff my whole life. So she was always like, "Just do it. Do whatever." So I started, and then my house got broken into. So I started, my house got broken into, and then they took literally everything. So I had a camera, you know, my laptop, my desktop, everything was gone. And so I was like, well, there goes that. There goes that, because back then it was YouTube, you had to have the production.
Yeah.
Phones weren't as great. And I just went through a lot during that time, because I was going through leaving my husband at the time. I got a divorce, and I was a single mom. So obviously I was working, and taking care of my kids all the time. So that was just well, I can't do that anymore for a while. And then content creation, I guess, has always been a part of my life, because my dad and that side of my family loved just capturing memories, like photography, video. My dad would always he would literally just be that dad that films everything. He would come in my room when I'm sleeping, and I'm like, "Go away, Dad," And
that's cute.
I know how to develop pictures with chemicals, back in
actual,
the day. Actual developing.
Lithography or developing negatives in a dark room. Yeah.
Yeah, so my grandpa taught me how to do that at 7 years old. So all that was always a part of me. So for me, I don't consider me content creating. I feel like I'm more just capturing memories, because this is what I want to share with my kids. And now I get to share it with, everyone else. But that's pretty much how it just naturally integrated, because I already took a lot of pictures. I was always the one that took pictures, made videos. I worked for, I did yearbook in high school. I threw my 10-year high school reunion. I just love doing all that stuff, capturing memories. And then I also went to college for journalism and media studies. And I got to learn, obviously, the broadcasting, journalism, being in front of camera. I wanted to be a reporter for a long time, or be in sports broadcasting, actually.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, that kind of naturally just became my life. And then I was a marketing director for a cannabis company, actually. So that's how I started. And then I started TikTok, because my sisters were on it, my daughters were on it, and I always try to go for oh, what's new? What's happening with my kids' lives? What's cool?
I really love that. I think.
Yeah. Sorry, it's
No,
so much.
are you kidding me? Two things I thought were really fascinating what you described. I mean, the first thing is your family just has a creative tradition of thinking how to capture, how to remember, how to create and share. And second, you mentioned for you, a lot of it is about capturing memories, because even well before I met you, which was actually through Matt. Shout out to a cook named Matt, who also helped us get the cameras ready. Thank you, Matt, if you're watching this. So even before you introduced you, I had seen your content before, because you said it's about capturing memories. I watched it and I was like, oh, this is so cute. And I love my mom to bits and pieces. She never made lunches quite as nice as yours, but it sort of reminded me. I'm like, oh, she used to do this, right? She used to pack my lunchbox. And now, having moved out as quote unquote an adult, I'm like, oh, you never appreciate these little things, the routine of your daily life that a mom does for her kids. It's very wholesome. And I'm like, well, I don't have that anymore. And so it almost brought me back to another time.
Yeah.
And so
I love that. I love that my videos do that. It, even if you don't have a good relationship with your mom or your parents, it gives that comfort to those people, which, I didn't know, obviously, till they started telling me, hey, I don't have a good relationship with my mom, but, you make me want to be the mom that I can to my future children, or, what have you. So, yeah, it makes me super happy.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, it's awesome.
When you first, and even when you started on TikTok, partially it was because your kids were on it, and you're like, oh, I want to be a good mom. I want to know what's this TikTok thing they're on.
Right.
And of course, your first videos that did really, really well. And now you've branched out and you do lots of different videos. It's not just you doing voiceover and you make these lunches. What was inspiration for the first one? Had you tried other things, or did you just sit down and you're like, well, of course I'm going to film this?
Well, at first, when I started TikTok, it was more artsy. So like I was making stuff, I was sewing, I was doing, because that's what I'm comfortable with. That's what I know. That's what I love doing, creating.
Yeah.
And then my sister was actually like, hey, you should put your food on there because they're cute, And at that point, I just took pictures of the lunches. Like I've been doing it for like 4 or 5 years at that point.
Yeah.
And I would just, upload it on Instagram or Facebook, just like, this is what Addie had for lunch.
Yeah, like, Hey, FY,
and,
like,
right,
I
FYI.
made this.
Well, I have a big close-knit group of moms online, actually, through a Facebook group. And it was through, like, baby fashion. And
baby fashion.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's another, like, whole big topic because it's just like regular fashion where things sell out so fast. People make money off of flipping. Like it's crazy. There's a crazy world of baby fashion too. But we had a close knit group of online community moms. So we shared pretty much a lot of things. Like lunch or like what we're cooking for dinner, what their birthday themes are gonna be, what we're doing for whatever. So we shared that a lot. So it was easy for me to be like, oh, this is what I made for lunch, put it out there.
Yeah.
But then I never was like, let me film it. People are going to want to watch, I didn't think that was there. So my sister was like, just do it because it's cute. I love it. And then I put a few up. I did it in a different format where I wasn't just like overhead.
Yeah.
And my TikTok got deleted. So my first TikTok account got completely deleted. And then I was like, it's a sign. I shouldn't be doing this.
God doesn't want me to share this.
Right. So then for a few months and whatever, I was like, okay, whatever. Like,
your sister's like,
TikTok.
hey, like, Jessica, are you going to do this? And you're like, no.
Yeah, I was like, it was like heartbreaking because I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Kind of like the YouTube thing, And then I was like, okay, I'm going to start uploading my art, food. And this was when, like, not a lot of people were on it yet. It was, like, summer of 2019.
Oh, this is even before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is early.
Yeah, so then, okay, of course, I started a new one. And then same thing, I kind of did a few. Like, the first video on my new account is, like, the trend where it's, like, how old do you think I am?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it's funny.
Wow, what answers? Well, you look young. You look like 20s or even younger, actually.
Yeah, I just get it all the time where, like, my sister is 16 and 14 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And they always, like, they think they're my older sisters every time we're out. And they get so mad.
That's kind of flattering.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind, but it's
You're
just...
like, I just look young.
I mean, I don't dress like old either, so I'm sure that doesn't help.
Trendy.
Yeah. I just haven't changed. My whole wardrobe is like from high school.
I mean, if it works,
But yeah.
it works.
Anyway, I started my new TikTok, and then a few videos in, I like went back to the food thing, cause food, like I love, and I was like always wanted to be a food social media person.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people do, but I just grew up loving eating, trying things, like everything that has to do with food. So I was always like, in the back of my mind, like, oh, I want to be like them, like food influencers or food creators, whatever they were called back in the day. And but I never knew how to get in. Just because I like felt like, okay, well, I don't have a culinary background, like I don't have like that history, whatever. So once I started doing that, went viral, it was literally like, wow, I'm in the food space. Like that's so, yeah, this is what I wanted. Obviously, I want to do art and everything, but like now I get to do art and food. That is my art medium. And yeah, so worked out for me.
I love that too, because sometimes I think it's really easy for someone and be like, oh, cool. Like one day she just like sat down, made videos, and of course it blew up. It's like, no, it's the combination of so many different parts of your life, right? Mm. A history of creation with your family, really wanting to capture memories, being a good mother for your children, like preparing lunch for them, being in a group with other moms and sharing. Your sister helping push you to be like, you should share this. You having always wanted to be a food creator, learning about TikTok from your kids really, really early on, and your overall aesthetic, artistic sense. It's like, well, there's like 10 different things I just mentioned. And like, that's what comes together to make that first viral hit. Like, it's not you just like sit down and you do whatever. It's almost like a moment where so many things in your life have come together, which is pretty cool.
Right. And I mean, they say like you never know what you're gonna go viral for. It's true, you know. Like I didn't think I could like my kids' lunches. Like when I say that, I'm like, oh, you know, that was just like one of the routines that I was doing.
So you just did this because I've seen it before. Like it's so cute. Like you were doing this regularly, even for TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even before TikTok existed, you know, like anything, because she was born in 2011, so. It started when she went to kindergarten, and at that point I was already divorced, and that was when I had to obviously like do all of the cooking, do all of the, you know, everything. So yeah, and I was like, well, might as well try to make it cute and fun because I got to do this every day.
Well, no, I mean, I just think it's because like first of all, it's a lot to do it every day, and second, it's a lot to, and let me include some artistic flair on top, which I think is just really admirable.
Thanks. And that just comes naturally to me, you know, like I don't think about like, I'm going to do this extra, you know, like that never like crosses my mind. It's just like anything I do, I like making things pretty. I'm a Libra also. I don't know if that kind of ties into having beautiful things, but yeah, just anything I like doing, you know, like regular day stuff. I'm like, why not make it pretty? Or,
why not make it aesthetic? Yeah. I remember when I got on your YouTube channel before, I remember you even have a video from years ago.
Yeah, I kept it on there, even though they're so cringy.
No, I don't think it's cringy, but there's one where you're actually painting someone's pregnant. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was just like, oh, wow. Like, she's been thinking about the creative side of things, like, way before the Bento Box videos. I just thought that was really cool. Yeah,
I just basically filmed, like I said, you know, making and creating memories. It's just like, that was my old coworker, and she, you know, she's pregnant. She's one of my close friends, and she's like, hey, can you paint my belly and take photos of me? So I was like, yeah. And then I went over there and I was like, I'm just going to film this because I want to remember it. You know, I want to remember this special time for her. And yeah, so I painted that, took photos of her. And I even made the flower crown she wore in the...
Oh my gosh. Now I also understand the tattoos so much better because they're also like a really creative, artistic way of getting to express yourself. And like, this is just how you live your life.
Yeah. Yeah, and tattoos are a big part of my life actually too, because my best friend was a tattoo artist, and she was my first roommate. I moved out like right when I was 18. We got a place together, so I hung out.
You moved. You were 18 and you left, and you just like, was this for college or you just like living with her?
Just moving out of my house because my dad lived in Vegas.
Gotcha.
I was with my dad, and then I just was like, well, I want to just be on my own. So me and my best friend got a place. She was working on getting her tattoo, going through her apprenticeship, you know, figuring out that part of her life. I was going to college, working. I had like 3 jobs.
Oh my God.
All the time just because I love working.
Well, like what were, like when she was getting her tattoo certification, like what were the 3 jobs you were doing?
Cocktail server, makeup artist. And I worked in the retail industry. So I worked for, at that time, probably Agent Provocateur, which is a lingerie company.
I was going to say, I've never heard of it, but it sounds fancy.
Yeah. It's a nice lingerie company.
So 3 at the same time?
Yeah. I was always like crazy and like always worked
And
constantly.
you were going to school?
Yeah. Going to school full time. Paying for it, everything. Yeah.
No wonder you call yourself queen. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, I know. I just love, like, my mind is like, I love being busy. I love always like constantly having to do stuff. And like, but that's my downfall because sometimes I'm like, yes. And then I'm like, okay, well, I need to chill out for a second. And I love like just being off the grid. But yeah, for the most part, I'm like, hustler is like literally my like middle name, I guess.
What I think is really cool, there's this sort of complementary contrast between you're a hustler, but you also are extremely artistic and create really cute things. Because I think in this world, people don't always assume the two can come together, right? If they see someone making adorable little Bento Box creations, they're like, oh, she's just like, so soft and so warm. And you're like,
fuzzy.
yo, like, I hustle, I got tattoos,
Right? I'm from the east side of Vegas.
like, I work hard. I work hard.
Yeah.
And you do both.
Right.
So now you've been essentially getting to be this food and cooking and brought any more and more into lifestyle creator, right? For a few years. What's the dream? What's the vision now?
I guess my overall like ultimate dream, I guess, is like just to travel and help people in need. Like kids in need. Like I would love to go around the world and just feed them, build them houses. I don't know,
Let there be infinite bento boxes.
Yeah, like
a bento box for every child. No child gets left behind.
Yeah, like I just want the world to be better, like with food, because I can make that happen, and I feel like that's the ultimate like dream is like to help other people and kids especially. Kids who doesn't, they don't have a lot. There's so many kids suffering, so that's my ultimate. But little big goals, I guess, is having a TV show.
Ooh.
Yeah. I got to be a guest judge on Top Chef Family.
Yeah.
And once I was there, I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, I had so much fun. And I was like, I could do this literally forever.
You're like, wait, I'm good at this. Like Top Chef, you should try and bring me on to more.
But yeah, I had so much fun. Everyone was so amazing. The production team, like everyone, and I was like, I can definitely see myself doing this. And yeah, just continuing my brand, I guess, just show. Obviously, I want to have my own product line, working on that.
Ooh, what types of products?
Bento box items, of course.
Okay, that makes so much sense. I thought it'd be really funny if you just said something totally different.
Right?
You're like I don't know.
Pillows.
Yeah, exactly.
Body pillows.
That's what you want from me. Like, here, it's like, you like this bento box? Too bad. Here's a pillow. Buy the pillow.
Maybe one day, but yeah,
Starting with bento boxes.
Yeah, starting with the kitchen stuff. Back to school stuff is what I really want to do. Fashion design has always been like my dream. So, I want to incorporate that part of my life to designing, backpacks and cute water bottles and stuff like that.
Do your kids, can I ask how old are they?
4, 9, and 11.
Do they, well, I guess if you're 4 years old, like I don't even remember anything when I was 4 years old. But when I was 9 and 11, I do. Do they understand and appreciate, like, oh, wait, like, mom's, like, this is what she does. This is cool.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, they do. Like, my biggest thing with my kids is, like, I communicate and, like, really talk to them like a person. Yeah. So, like, throughout my whole life, I tell them what's happening with my life. I tell them, like, like, is this okay? Is this not okay? Obviously, like, all the safety measures, like, but, like, even my relationships with guys or, whatever, I'm very open with them obviously to a degree where they don't know, details and stuff. But, yeah, I'm very close with them in that manner. And, they know. They're like, we had this conversation with my oldest one because she pretty much understands the most, because she's on there. She's on TikTok. Her friends are on there. And, sorry, I got a brain fart.
That's okay.
What was I going to say?
You said your daughter, because she's 11, she's on TikTok. She understands more.
But what was my whole point of telling you?
Because you're saying you're very open with them. You communicate with them a lot. And they understand what you do.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they understand. Like when I have to come here, they're like, we miss you. We want you to be here, But then they understand that I have to do these things for us to like. I just bought a house, for us to have a house,
like
for
to be able
me
to support us as
to
a
live.
family.
Yeah, literally, basically live because I support my whole family. And myself, like literally myself. So yeah, she understands. And oh yeah, this was the story. This was where I was going. So middle school, they're already talking about drugs, and she's in 6th grade. And I'm like, and my daughter was comfortable enough to tell me like, you know, hey, people are talking about drugs. They're getting high in the bathroom, you know. And at this point, she didn't even know like what getting high or like that word, you know, anything like that. But like middle school is a whole different ball game now. So she came to me, you know, talked about that stuff. And obviously I had to have a serious conversation, like, you know, overdosing and, you know, doing drugs and like, and I'm real, you know, like I said, I'm real. So I'm not like, don't do drugs.
Right.
That's bad. Yeah, I was like, you know, why do you think kids do drugs? You know, what do you think is the number one answer? And she's like, to be cool, you know? And I was like, that's exactly right. Like, there's no reason for kids to be like hooked on these recreational drugs for no reason, you know? Like, really.
Wait, so your daughter is in 6th grade, and kids are literally talking about getting high in the bathrooms.
Yeah. And
But,
most people probably don't even know, you know? Like, they probably
Yeah,
don't
most
even...
kids aren't even comfortable enough with their parents to go and share that.
So, you know, just even that part, like, I'm so lucky to, like, feel like she can come to me and tell me these things. But also, you know, I was like, do you feel like you need to be cool? You know, do you feel like you have friends that you need to impress or anything like that? And she's like, no, I have you. You know, she literally was like, I have you, you know, you're the queen, like, you know. And so my kids hype me up so much, and they're amazing, like, literally. I love
Does your
them so
daughter,
much.
does she take after you? Do you think she's similarly artistically interested?
Yeah, I mean, she is just like me, like making things. Like, she, for Valentine's Day, she made, last minute, she made a cute little hot air balloon with balloons and a little basket. She got me little cute things, you know, and left it for me in my hallway for the morning to wake up to, you know. And I'm like, and she's like, see, you don't need anybody. Like, she's like, you have us, you know. And it's true, like, and that's the thing, like, I want to share with people is that what you give out, they really learn and like give it back to you, you know. Like, my kids do so much for me. Like, they can cook. Like, there's times where I get, like, especially when I lost my mom, I was depressed. I didn't want to cook food and cooking, and my mom was like direct connections, and like I just didn't want to do anything, you know. I was like sad, didn't eat, didn't sleep, like terrible time for me.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Obviously. But you know, they were like, it's fine, we got this, you know. They were like, I'll cook you. Do you want to eat, Mom? Like, she, yeah, and they can do everything. Like, it's crazy because they're self-sufficient, like, completely. Like, I don't even have to worry. And most people are like, you know, they're in my comments, they're like, they're spoiled.
Wow.
They're, you know, like, make them do a lunch. Like, can they even do it? Can they do this? Like, there's a lot of, like, you know, judgment that comes with me, like, showing my love for my kids, which is so crazy. You know, I'm like, I'm just the mom loving my kids. But, yeah. And I'm like, actually, if you do these things, like, they learn. They surprise me on my birthday with breakfast in bed. You know, like, they do so much. And so I'm like, this is what I'm trying to share with you guys, you know, like, just a little bit of effort and, you know, care. It really, like, does make a difference.
Yeah, it's like, number one, clearly you've raised them well. So.
Thank you.
Second, yeah, I think that really fits in. You do something nice for them, not because you have to or because they can't do it, but you're just like trying to bring a little bit of love into the world and show them. And when you do that, you're showing them, hey, like, it's not a big deal I'm making this lunch for you. I'm just doing it because I want to. They're sharing that back with you. They're like, oh, it's your birthday. Like, we'll do breakfast in bed. Oh, it's Valentine's. Let me make something for you and leave it for you.
Right.
Aw.
It's very cute. And, like, you know, it's awesome because I don't, like, have to be like, do this for me. Or, like, you know, like,
Right.
you have to do, yeah, like, I don't tell them, you know, like, this is what you're supposed to do. But they, you know, they just see it and they experience through their lives. So, you know, I feel like more people need to, like, think like that.
Do you think your daughter, since she's 11, is she going to start making more content on TikTok too, you think?
Yeah, I mean, she has, like, she she had to like create new accounts like every other month because they like just delete it just because she's younger.
What is with TikTok and your family? They're like, no, we can't let her die.
I know. Yeah. So she had to start over a lot of times, but she just keeps on doing it. She's like, yeah, I made a new one. It's
just
fine.
like you
and
did.
Then, yeah, and she'll just keep doing it. And she even went viral for one of her videos on her own, which was sad because that account got deleted. But yeah, she's so good. My daughter is so good. She already, you know, and I mean, people just have to give kids credit because, you know, that's what moves everything. Like if you think about it, they're the ones that are going to predict what's cool, what's in the market, what's, you know, everything going forward is going to be them deciding.
It's true. In a way, because you're close with your kids, you'll always know what's happening for everyone else. Again, that's why you were on TikTok so early, too.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, this was so much fun.
Yeah.
All right, ready to go more into the questions?
Yeah.
So you actually pulled a level 3 question.
Oh, oops.
And it's a wild card. So
okay.
Level 1. Yeah.
Okay. So do I ask you this?
Yeah, you ask me.
Okay. Just by looking at me, you would think. But you already kind of answered this already.
Well, that's why it's good. We've already learned about each other.
Right?
We're already not really strangers. Well, I think the easy answer is everything you just said about, hey, you're not just, hey, I'm making like little cute things. Like you are a hustler. You are an entrepreneur. I think these are things people might not necessarily realize about you.
Yeah. And that's fine.
Yeah, because you don't get to walk into this world and have everyone understand every part of you instantly. I think it's the journey of being able to share bits and bits, piece by piece. That's what makes it cool.
Right.
Let's do a different one for you.
Okay.
Because we already answered that one. Oh, that's a wild card. The wild cards are always hard.
I keep getting the wild cards.
You do.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay. What does my phone wallpaper tell you about me? It's not even interesting.
All right, let's see the phone wallpaper.
It's me and my mommy.
Wait, can we show this?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, this is the cutest wallpaper ever.
It's me and my mom in LA. We're walking back home from getting McDonald's in K-Town. It's my favorite picture of us. Oh, it's black.
Now. Wait.
And like, it's awesome because we're like dressed fabulously.
Wait,
per usual. Like,
oh my gosh,
my mom's in heels.
You are dressed so fabulously. Like you are in a dress. You are killing it. Wait, you two literally look like fashion models.
Thanks.
Wait, that is cool.
And then this is my other one, I guess. It's just a cute little thing with the
cute little
hand.
So the first one is her mom and herself when she was a kid. This is like a little cooking cat.
Yeah, little cooking baby.
I feel like that's such a wholesome memory. The first one you showed me, it's like, hey, we're going to McDonald's, we're gonna get something, but we're gonna look fabulous.
Right? And that was my mom. My mom always looked fabulous, and like everyone was always like, she's so pretty.
Like, how did she do it? Well, I bet that's what your kids probably think of you, right?
Yeah, they do. They're like, when I tell you, they're like, they hype me up so much. They're like, literally every day, you're so beautiful.
You're like continuing
Mom.
on your mom's spirit.
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool because my kids think I'm cool. You know, that's the ultimate goal, I think,
Yeah,
as
that's
a parent.
kind of like the hardest thing. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll pull in.
Okay.
Now. I'm going to pull a level 2. I think we're ready.
Okay, we're ready.
What title would you give this chapter in your life?
I don't know, because I'm in kind of like a crossroads of like going through so much last year of like so much stuff like with my mom and everything else. And then right now is like, I have so many exciting things happening that I'm, you know, anticipating for, but like I'm still kind of in that like me, you know, the May section of this last year, and then trying to be excited for this coming stuff. So I don't know.
You're in between.
Yeah, maybe called in between
Yeah.
chapter.
You're in
I mean,
between.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happened, but you're still processing.
Yeah.
And there's so many cool things you can do next. And you're just right in between.
Yeah. In between chapter. That sounds
like
so
that.
boring though.
No, that's an honest answer. I'm a big believer, like, life always comes in phases and waves, right? Sometimes there's so many good things occurring and you just want to take advantage of them. Sometimes you're like, let me just like pause and like be myself for a bit.
Yeah.
Right. And you're really in that transition from one to the other.
Yeah. My life's always crazy though.
Yeah.
Like it's always like, yeah. Like just like the YouTube, like when my house got broken into, just like
Gosh, that's pretty wild.
so bad. And then I don't know, like just throughout my life, it's like,
Well, before your career as a grader took off, you mentioned you were working, I think you said, as a marketing director. Mm-hmm. So you were working more a 9-to-5 type role.
yep. And that was my first like real 9-to-5.
Gotcha.
Because before I had 9-to-5s, but again, I had like 2 other jobs. So I guess
you
that
were
was like the
bouncing a
only
lot.
one that I like took full time.
Right.
Yeah.
Like just the one. And now, because you mentioned life being crazy, I mean, you're doing your own thing. I think that in itself, forgetting literally everything else in your life around family, and I'm sure there's 15 gazillion other things going through your head, just doing your own thing, like that's hard in itself. Like you're an entrepreneur, you are running your own business.
Yeah. And I think I've just always had that mindset. Like even when I was like working in makeup, I would get all this free makeup from all these makeup companies, like back then, because I worked at makeup counters.
Yeah.
I would just sell all my free makeup on eBay, and make all this money. And like, for just cause I was like, I don't know, I have all this excess. So why don't I just sell it? And then, just like the makeup thing, I wanted to do my own thing. So as a makeup artist for like events and brides and weddings for a long time. And I did that for like 15 years, like just
Wow.
branding myself as a market artist or makeup artist in Vegas. So I feel like, that part of again, just marketing myself has always been there.
I love that. All right, this time, your turn. Well,
Okay.
level 2.
What has been your earliest recollection of happiness?
Wow, that's a good one.
Sorry, I'm going to put some lip gloss on.
Oh, of course. I don't mind. I'm trying to think. Earliest recollection of happiness.
Come on. It can't take you this long.
Well,
What
I'm
made you
trying
happy?
to. You mentioned, right? I love how you shared the story of you and your mother going to McDonald's, looking super glamorous and super fly. And I was thinking, with my parents, the first time I can remember getting a meal together. Well, I think one thing I was appreciated was every day when I woke up for school in the morning. And when I say like woke up for school in the morning, it's like my mom is like, Eric, get up. And I take like 30 minutes to like drag myself out. She would like make breakfast like every single day for us, like egg and tomatoes and rice.
Yummy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like delicious. And I was like really appreciated it. And I think I appreciate it even more looking back because now I'm realizing like that's actually a lot of work.
Yeah.
Especially like that early in the morning because I don't know, you have to like be in school by like
Right.
7 a.m. or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's like 6:30. And to like make breakfast every single day,
Right.
I'm now like appreciating like, wow,
Yeah.
that's so much work.
Right. And she, like you got to think they have to cook you breakfast, lunch, dinner, like there's so much. But yeah, I mean, they do it because they love you.
Oh. Yeah, I'd say that's one of my favorite dishes, I think, is like egg and tomato. And I think it's because my mom used to make that for me in the morning.
Right.
So I miss it now.
You want me to make you some eggs and tomato?
I mean, maybe at one point we got a whole kitchen downstairs.
I know.
What about for you? What are your earliest memories of happiness?
I think one of the earliest memories was when Santa gave me my first like Christmas gift.
Yeah.
And it was at school, but it was a Super Nintendo. It was a Nintendo
Oh, get out of
NES
here.
actually. And I I just remember being like, you know, it was this huge box. It came with like everything, the pad, the running pad.
The running pad?
Yeah. There's a like marathon racing.
What? There's a gun?
The duck hunt.
Oh my God. It came with like the peripherals, like the attachments.
It actually had a thing with a cord with a gun. Yeah, there was no like
What?
shooting with the, yeah. I see, I'm so old. But yeah, it's an orange gun. I think I still have it actually. But it had a running pad. You hook the, it's like a little like pad.
And you like,
hook it up
and you like run
and
on
you
it?
run on
Oh
it.
my
Yeah,
gosh,
it's like
what is
Wii.
this?
It's like Wii Fit. Before.
But this is like the Super Nintendo, which is before the
Yeah.
N64.
Right.
Wow, technology.
It was NES, not even the Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay. It's just Nintendo.
Yeah,
Nintendo
the
Entertainment
regular
System.
box Nintendo. Yeah, but yeah, that was one of my like first memories that I have. That's happy. And then I was just like more appreciative after I found out like, oh, that was my mom. That was my mom that gave me that. And yeah, I had it for so long. I like moved around with it forever.
You play it a lot?
Nowadays they have those like Nintendo games where it's like everything in one thing. So I just play like the newer.
Yeah, I like the Switch. But
I definitely. That's why going to Universal was like awesome for me.
Yeah, because you
of that
got to
memory.
literally be at Super Nintendo World.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was cool.
That's so cute. All right, let's do another level 2, and then we'll start going to level 3.
Okay, I'm ready.
Ooh. How can you become a better person?
How can I?
You're like, I'm perfect. Thank you.
No, I don't think I'm perfect. I can, in a lot of ways, I think everyone can work on themselves. I can get really mean.
Ooh.
So I'm like, I try to tell people like I'm the nicest, most meanest person that you'll probably meet. And like, I think that obviously I can just calm down in certain situations because I'm like, I just like getting even too. So like being petty, like all those things, like obviously I can be better in those situations where, I want to just like go off.
I'm a big believer that like all of our characteristics and traits, even the ones that you framed this as something you want to be better at, there's obviously a reason why you learned to do it because it helped probably protect you in the past or helped you disperse negative feelings that you had, right?
Right.
Yeah. Moment. It's like, hey, you feel wronged, you feel upset about something. Here's like something you can do to try and take that power back.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I don't get mad. I get even. Like, that's just my personality.
Ooh, you better not cross.
Right? Don't.
Sulhee, Jessica, woo, for all of you watching. Cooking World better look out.
I know, right? Yeah. And then obviously like work-wise, productivity-wise, just planning out more stuff. I'm very like half and half. I'm a very like planned out person, but also I work best under pressure and like spontaneity. Yeah. So, that's where it kind of like hinders me in a way because I do my best and like my creativeness comes out more when I wait last minute or like, do stuff like that. But then I am a very like planner, like I love to plan things out and like know what's happening. So I think being planned out obviously helps everyone in the long run, in life and routine, which is proven. So routine, planning out a little bit more. I feel like I feel like everyone could do that,
I'm hearing you describe a little, like, sometimes it's like those crunch moments with all the pressure.
Yeah.
That's when the most creative side of yourself comes out.
Yeah, it's true, though. Yeah, like every morning I'm in a food show competition with myself. Like, that's what I always, like, think of it as. Like, if you can imagine me, like, I'm just in a food competition with myself in the mornings because I don't like giving myself longer than, like, 40 minutes just because I like sleep and, like, staying up. So 40 minutes, and then I'm like, what can I make? What can I do? And then on top of that, I'm like, okay, I got to try to film it at the same time. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Your content, like it's like an hour basically. Just like boom.
Yeah. I try to I'm very efficient in when I do stuff, which is a good trait, I guess, because I am fast and I try to get everything.
Competitive.
Yeah, very competitive. Most people don't know that. I don't know if I want that out there.
We'll send this to you after.
Yeah.
You can be like, do I want them to know I'm competitive? I'm coming for them. Or is it better that they don't?
I just try to like play it cool, and then I just come out.
Okay, Jessica, literally the interview started and you're like, wow, look at my tattoos.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, I'm going to pull a level 3.
Okay.
But even for me, right, because I didn't know much about you or get to know you outside your content, I'm like, immediately, I'm like, whoa, she's cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And now I love you're like, ooh, like, how much of this do I show?
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, most people know.
it.
Like, I share mostly like that stuff on Instagram stories. Like, I tell everyone, like, I post whatever I want without even thinking, like, is this going to do good? Is this going to be bad? Are they going to hate me for this? I mean, I probably should, but I just think of it as like, this is who I really am. You know, this is my life and this is real for me. And like, if you don't like it, that's fine. You know, I'm not for everyone. My content's not for everyone. And that's fine. You know, like I can't make everyone happy, but this is who I am. And if you don't like it, then I don't know what to say.
No, I think that's the best way because you share, in a way, you make a living by sharing parts of your life. And if it's not really a realistic portrayal of your life, you're also gonna have to like, you know, so it's better just to be you.
I just don't know how to be like anyone else or like fake anything that like, I just am not like that. You know, I just, even if I tried, like, I think that's why acting is really hard for me. When I try to act, it's hard because I'm, you know, it's not me and it's not real. And
you're very strong-willed. You're very you. Yeah. And so like, doesn't matter the role or character, it's how to be Jessica Wu on that.
Yeah. So, you know, that's.
So you've tried to act before though.
I mean, certain things like, you know, certain content stuff that I've like collabed with or brand stuff, you know, if they want me to like say certain things or like there is you know, you're in front of the camera. So there is a certain, like, I guess, percentage where you do have to, you know, act like.
And you're like,
know what I mean?
Jessica is here.
But it's just hard for me. You know, it's just hard for me to be.
No, it's true. It's true for me too. So in my spare time, I started to take some acting classes. Because for me, it's like a relief from my normal work, right? Plus I'm in LA. Plus I get to explore the creative side of myself. I think the hardest thing is, it doesn't matter what scene I'm in. I'm still Eric. Like
that's true.
It's hard to like immerse yourself in the character.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna pull one. In one word, describe how you feel right now.
Happy, I guess. I'm happy right now.
Aw,
yeah,
that's a great word.
Yeah,
I'm happy
to be here with you.
I'm happy you're happy.
Getting to know you and myself at the same time, I guess. You know, hearing it out loud helps me talk about myself more.
Yeah, your own story. Oh, well, then I feel grateful.
Yeah.
For me, most fun part of getting to do this, it's really just like I get to know you better. Like I've known about you for a while, right? And I've like seen you at different times and places, right? I saw you at the pickleball course with like Mickey or I, right? Like a couple of months ago, right? Like Matt's mentioned you before. And I was really excited to do this because I'm like, well, now I'm going to get to know her better as like a human being.
Right? As a person.
Yeah. That's why I love this. It's just like a great framing device and exercise because it's really hard, I feel like, to bring over a friend and be like, let's just like get to know each other better.
Right.
Like we're not going to cook together. We're not going to play video games. We're not going to do pickleball. We're just going to talk.
Yeah. But, you know, one good thing about me that I've learned to do is make people feel comfortable. Aww. So we could have, I would have gotten to.
Oh, 100%.
But you probably wouldn't have gotten more out of me.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Just because I am more like, because the questions are there for us, you know, gotcha. Where I'm like, okay, I have to answer.
Well,
whereas
I'm experiencing it's like super, super open. Like you were going off. You were sharing about your life.
Yeah.
You are exposing Santa.
I know. I can't. I know. I caught myself because we can't do that. I gotta keep the magic.
Dear editors, we're gonna have to. You know, maybe every time we talk about that, we'll just bleep out that one section.
Yeah.
But it'll be funny because then people watching be like, "What is she? is this serious? Like, what did she do?
What is she talking about?
All right, level 3.
Okay.
So the dollar bill ring, is that like something you always wear?
No, I just switch it up.
I like it.
There's
Aesthetics.
I had one someone made into a crane too. Wow. So it was like this, but a crane on top. So I don't know. I like wearing different things.
No, I think it's
having
cool.
different things. I have crane tattoos on me too.
Wow.
Based on what you learned about me, what book would you recommend I read?
Wow. Gosh. I love the question assumes that like I know what books are and like have enough books to choose one to
You
recommend.
went to Harvard.
I
right?
know,
Come
I know.
on, you gotta
okay.
know books a little
But like,
bit.
what if I like? Okay, I do like to read books, but like, what if I had it? That I got the question and be like, oh, okay. Well, let me
Dr.
think.
Seuss.
Dr. Seuss is a classic. Oh, The Places You'll Go. It's a great book. It's a great book.
That is a good book.
Yeah. What would I recommend? What even have I read recently? Okay.
Take your time.
For whatever reason, as soon as someone says take your time, I'm like, think faster. Now I'm like, what are the most meaningful books I've ever read? Okay, well, there's this one book I really like. I actually think many of the lessons that I learned from it, you already know. So I don't know if this is a great book in terms of, oh my God, I'm going to learn so much, but I think it's a book that vibes with your personality. So it's a book by Mark Manson, and it's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Are you familiar with it?
I haven't read it, but yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like its vibe is very much already aligned with your vibe.
Yeah.
So it's not really like you like learning things. It's more like reading and be like, yes,
Right.
like, this is
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
This is making explicit parts about me I
Thanks.
like.
Yeah.
And I remember, well, actually, there's a couple points in it that I really do enjoy. I think 2 or 3 come to mind. I think the first one is in the very early part of the book, he talks about, hey, like, ultimately what's really important is building your own sense of self-worth and confidence. And if you look around at other people, and sometimes you think you are way better than they are. But other times, like, at people and you're like, oh no, like I'm way worse. He's like, well, these are actually symptoms of the same underlying self-esteem issues because you're not better than other people,
Right.
but you're also not worse. You're all just humans and you're all the same. And if you go in between, no, like I'm actually higher or lower, they're all reflections of like, ooh, like, am I actually good? And I was like, oh, that's really helpful because I've gone through periods in my life where I absolutely would do that, right? Like, at some people and be like, oh my God, they're just like so much better than I am. Like, I suck. And I feel like I'd be like, yeah, I'm like way better. And then it's like, oh, well, that's like a very like, it's in a way, it's a very insecure way for me to express like something I'm worried about that I'm trying to judge and evaluate against others.
Right.
So that's like the sort of concepts that the book goes through that I feel like you would just read and you would enjoy.
Yeah. I'll definitely read it. Thank you.
Do you read a lot in general?
I try to, but I haven't been able to do anything
Yeah,
like
see,
leisurely.
that's that's what I was thinking. That's how I'm like,
You know?
it's so much work to try and balance everything.
Yeah. It's hard, especially because,
Yeah.
I have 3 kids, you know? It's like if I have downtime, they want alone time, you know? So it's like I want to read more, you know? I want to binge watch Netflix and, you know,
But you
do
run your own
nothing.
business, you have family.
Yeah, but there's always something I have to edit, you know, there's always something I have to voice over or emails or anything, you know, and if I do get a little downtime for anything, it's catching up, you know, so, which is fine. Like, I can't complain about that, but definitely want to have more fun time. But that's why when I'm like here, I try to combine both, like, you know, fun time
It's
and
both.
work.
All right, last one.
Okay.
This is going to be it. Some of these are not good.
Why?
They're like, what's a Netflix show you would recommend?
Oh,
how
that's
is
a good one.
How is that
That's a good
How
one.
is that level 3?
I guess because there's a lot of judgment on what you watch, maybe.
I guess so. But we just did the book one, so this question. So I'm gonna answer it for you. How would I describe you to a stranger? So I started this, funnily enough, by asking yourself. I was like, how should I introduce you to the camera? Right? Sulhee Jessica Wu, Bento Box Queen, over 7 million. I think now I describe you as a force of nature. Wait, I have an even better one. An iron fist.
Oh my God.
Wait, no. An iron fist enclosed within a velvet glove.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because you look at it and you didn't know anything. You'd be like, oh, like it looks all like nice and soft. And since it's you, it's going to be like the most stylish velvet glove
Thank you.
ever. However, there's a lot of there's a lot of force. It's like, oh, like what a nice. Oh, okay. Because I feel like, yeah, you could look at your content and be like, oh, she makes like bento boxes for her kids. Like, oh, that's so cute and so wholesome. But like, I bet her like kids don't do anything. Like she just sits there and makes lunches for them. It's like, no, she's worked 3 jobs. She works her ass off. She raised her kids to be independent. She's a hustler.
Thank you.
And that's, I think, the iron fist part.
Thanks. But yeah, I mean, the assumptions are like, yeah, I'm a trophy wife. You know, rich, doesn't have to do anything, has 1 million nannies. Like the list literally goes on.
That's why
it's
she
crazy.
gets to go and make these bento boxes every
Yeah.
day. She gets to 5 hours. It's like, no, you are so busy and you make 40 minutes.
Exactly. Because, you know, it makes me happy doing it for them. But yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm an iron fist.
Iron. I love how I start with the iron fist part. I didn't even say the velvet glove part. You were like, yeah. Iron fist. I like that. That's me. And I said the velvet glove. You're like, oh, okay. I see where he's coming from more.
Well, I'd rather be strong. You know, I'd rather like come off as like a strong, not like a strong, like mean person, but like a strong person than like this like cutesy girl that's doing food. You know, like, because, yeah, I meet people all the time and they're like, what do you do? And I say, I make food videos. And then they'll like go on and, you know, talk about these things. And they're like, oh yeah, I should probably do social media too. And, you know, I always encourage them. I'm like, yes,
yeah, of course.
Whatever you
if
know,
they want
love,
to, sure.
do it, you know? But they're like, oh no, but you're so cute and beautiful. And like, you know, people always use that, you know, they're like, you're pretty and, or whatever, you know? And I'll be like, well, I don't even show my face half the time, you know, like I went viral for my hands. Like, you know, like I do everything, like I'm not even in front of camera until like I wanted to switch it up, you know, and get more brand deals, marketing reasons,
personality
really.
helps
Yeah. But, you know, I tell everyone, I'm like, I literally am not in front of camera, you know, I'm just doing what I'm doing.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
like,
just make lunch for my kids.
It's like, hey, do you think I blew up because I'm pretty? Like, I wasn't even on camera. I just worked hard.
Yeah, well, that's why I try to, you know, I want to help people be like, you know, you don't have to look perfect. You don't have to be even, you know, attractive or whatever the attractiveness scale is. But, you know, like you can be anybody doing what you like.
And I think, too, something a lot of people miss, if that's all they notice about you, is just the amount of grit that you have to. That's, I think, my biggest takeaway, having talked with you and gotten to know you a bit better. A lot of grit, a lot of... You gotta, you know, there's a lot of work involved to make it all happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of work. You know, I tell everyone it's hard work. You know, you have to put the work in. I didn't grow this fast because I sat around, you know. I literally capitalized. Once I went viral, I capitalized.
You're like, I gotta make content.
Yeah. I started my own dropshipping company because I wanted to have people all over the world having my bento boxes. I started my Amazon affiliates. You know, like I literally went, what am I going to do? Like right after. And so people just have to realize like, yeah, you have to put the work in to grow big and fast. And you can do it. Anyone can do it though, you know?
That's why you're not Bento Box Princess, you're Bento Box Queen.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for making time today. This is so much fun.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.